Hey, what's up, Reefers? It's been a while since I've done a tank update. I think it was about two and a half weeks ever since I came back from Asia. So I figure let's do a general tank update so I can let you guys know what changed in the tank. And let me just do a quick walk around first before I dive right in. And you notice that I hear your complaints. I moved my parrot into the bathroom and closed the door on him. Hopefully the video will be a little bit more quiet. If that still does not work, maybe I'll move him to my study upstairs before I start filming. I feel kind of bad. Don't worry, the toilet seat is down. So he is not going to drown. Alright, so let's get down to it. Let's get the bad things out of the way first. I'm really sad to report. Oh my god, that's Alexa. But I'm really sad to report that the clam did not make it. If you remember, I had a Deresa clam that was right there. For the last, I'll say week and a half, 2 weeks, it had been on the decline. The mantle just keeps shrinking into the shell, and that is usually a really bad sign. Nothing seems to be irritating it. I did notice that the manta seems to be losing its neon pattern, so it's a little bit more brown. But as it attracts more and more into the shell, it is to the point where I know it's beyond saving. So I had to pull the clam. Really sad about it. My guess is that because I did not dose phytoplankton so long, maybe it was not big enough to photosynthesize for food from the light, and I should have kept dosing phytoplankton. But at the same time, I stopped dosing phytoplankton because of the dino outbreak. I'm really afraid that it's going to come back. So I've been pretty light on feeding, and I pretty much stopped dosing phyto. So maybe that's a cause, maybe it's not, I don't know. If you have any suggestion or guess, let me know in the comments below, because it's quite a mystery to me. So besides the clam, you see that my kryptonite candy cane has really taken a beating. Let me see if we can zoom in a little bit for you guys. So it was positioned over here before, and it was like the favorite perch of my green clown goby. And I'm guessing that maybe the green clown goby is showing it too much love. The damaged tissue was never able to really have time to heal. So I'm gonna move it to the back, where it's kind of out of reach. Well, not out of reach, but my goby just don't seem to like that spot. So I'm gonna try and see if I can let it heal a little bit. And if it does heal there, that tells me that maybe it is the green clown goby that's loving it a little bit too much. It's interesting because in my clown goby videos, a lot of you mentioned that the goby seems to make nest in SPS coral and strip the flesh. So this is probably not a good mix for gobies and more sensitive corals like SPS. I'm kind of surprised that it bothered the kryptonite candy cane as well. But then again, I mean, it's not proven yet. Let's see if we bounce back. If so, then maybe it is the clown goby that's kind of causing a little issue. So right now, I made it a point to keep all the more hardy and less sensitive coral up front where my green clown goby likes to hang out. And the clown goby can perch on the zoas all day, and the zoa doesn't really care. Most of the time it even stays open, but when it closes, it'll just open real fast. So that's the second sad news. The kryptonite candy cane is taking a hit. But that is pretty much of the bad. So 2 videos ago, I mentioned that I got some new additions from King of Corals in Frederick, Maryland. And let me just kind of point them out so you know where these guys are in terms of the stuff that I got. So let me see if I can zoom in. So that little frag is about 12 or 13 polyps. I pick up from them for $30 for 20% off. It's essentially the same one as those, but I really like them. So when I see that they have those guys and it's on sale, I picked it up and I glue it down to that spot. So it looks like a continuation of the same zoa colony. So that's the first one. The second one is that I also mentioned that I picked up a red Gonipora, and that's right there. So Gonipora, I've never really attempted them because they were really not hardy at all. And at least in the past, it seems like the really dirty tank has good luck with them, and a little bit cleaner tank struggles to keep them alive. But apparently things have changed in the last couple years, and there has been a lot of success with Goniporas. So when I saw this guy, it was expanding nicely at the fish store. I decided to give him a try. So this frag was $40 with 20% off. And as you can see, it's opening pretty nicely. Small frag. It may be a little bit too close to the gold torch, so I may re-aquascape, and I'll get to that a little bit later. So the third pickup from this past weekend, you can't probably see him. I'm seeing like a hint of him. It's the tiger tail sea cucumber, like in that crevice right there. And I'm really happy to report that he seems to be doing well. He is working because you see the pellets. These are actually sand. Basically, the sea cucumber will eat the sand, right? They'll ingest the sand and then poop out these little sand pellets. So if you look in the cave, you see a trail of pellets. That means he is working. And once you get these pellets, usually hermit crab or the snail, they may like come over and kind of break it down into regular sand. So it's kind of cool. And this is a huge cucumber, so I have high hopes. All right, so swing back to the front. Let me get it back in focus. The rose bubble tip anemone has gotten big. I have been feeding it actually this week every single day, and then I was careful to make sure the stuff that I feed does not float around the tank to pollute the water. And so I've been feeding this guy and this guy once a day for the past week and a half. Because ever since my friend Alex was over, he was like telling me about his rose bubble tip anemone, how huge he got. I was like, oh, what's your secret? He just said, oh, feed him a lot. So I'm like, okay, fine. Let me be a little bit more consistent in terms of feeding my anemone. So I made it a point, and sure enough, it got big. And I really like this strand of rose bubble tip anemone. It stays really red. The previous one I got, it kind of just dulled out after a week or two in my tank. But this one seems to be holding its color. So I'm crossing my fingers. And the orange bubble tip anemone that I bought for $100 in an auction, it dulled out so badly, but now it's regaining its color. So I'm really happy about that. And they seems to be like buddies. They hang out a lot. They like the rose bubble tip anemone will move from time to time, but it's always like kind of clustered around the orange bubble tip anemone and vice versa. So I mean, as long as they're not staying each other, it's all good. Looks pretty interesting too. And you would also notice that I have done some rock work. This big piece of rock under here came from the local fish store this past weekend. I remember how they could not get the sea cucumber out without damaging it, so they gave me the whole piece of rock. And I actually really like this piece of rock, so I tried to incorporate it into the aquascape. And just kind of, I actually really like the bottom part because it looks really interesting, but unfortunately, this is the only orientation I find that I can incorporate the green star polyp rock onto this main piece. So that will have to stay for now because I didn't want to tweak with it too much. The tank was getting a little bit cloudy. At the moment, I'm not too big of a fan because this is too predictable. It's basically a huge rock column with a gorgonian stuck in. There's no excitement. And I don't think the gold torch placement is too good because before the gold torch, it kind of goes in and then come back out. So there's a little conflict there. It's a contrast too. So that looks a little bit more interesting. Right now, it just boom, one column. So it's not too interesting, especially with the gorgonian pop sticking right at the top. It just kind of makes it worse. So I'll probably revisit this part, and I may even break up this rock. I don't know. We'll see. Or maybe if this SPS kind of grow in and grow out, it'll kind of make it okay. It'll break up the shape a little bit, so it's not as like, you know, just one solid column. But another reason that I added this piece of rock is that I'm running out of room in the tank to place coral. Specifically, running out of room under the light. I have a lot of room in the back, but it's all in the shade, so it's really difficult to keep corals there. So I'm trying to create a little bit more room under the light so I can, you know, better space the corals out, and if I see something nice, I know I have room to accommodate them. So in terms of aquascape, that is the difference, and I kind of clean up that cluster a little bit. It was a little bit too far back, like came out too much, and it's a little bit too cramped. I want a little empty swimming space here. So I pull this rock in, and then I move a piece to the back, and that's the Superman pally. I feel like it's a little bit too dark in the back. We'll see how it likes it. I may have to move it up over here, or just kind of find some spot to bring it out here. So. But since we're talking about corals and placements, I'm happy to report that the Space Invader is doing really well. It's probably one of the healthiest coral in this tank, even though the yellow clown goby sits on it 50% of the time. It does not seem to be bothered. It does not seem to be bothered by the green star polyp. I checked. The green star polyp has not grown into frag plug yet, and it just always inflated, always happy. So I'm really happy about this purchase, and it seems to be growing too, which I'm really glad. Let me just kind of do a little. Yeah, I definitely notice a little growth spurt, especially on the ridges. If you look back to when I first got it. Back here is Gorgonian. I'm not sure what type of Gorgonian it is. I just know it's photosynthetic. That seems to be growing as well. It's definitely a little bit taller than before. Not because it's on another stack of rock, but it is growing, so I'm kind of happy. It seems to be doing well. This Gold Torch always doing well, but I feel like the edge, I feel like it's too much flow over on the other side, over there where it was before, especially since I wanted to turn up the flow a little bit. So I moved it to the new pile. Right now, I feel like it's almost not enough flow, but we will see. But I may end up moving it simply because it's a little bit close to the Gonipora for my comforts, and also I kind of want to see that little divot in the rock, and so it does not look like one solid column going straight down. The Rickodia, I'm trying a different spot in my tank to find a place where it's happy about. This spot is a little bit lower flow, and it seems to be opening up a little bit more, but time will tell, and time will tell if I keep them there. And back there you see the Total Chaos Zoas. This is a colony that I lost a lot of polyps on while I was on vacation. I have no idea what happened. So I just kind of moved it out. I found a Astrea star kind of just hugging the rock. Just in case, I removed it. I'm not sure if that's the Zoa eating star, but you know, it is on that rock. So playing it safe, I just removed it. Otherwise, the polyp looks healthy. And they are reaching up a little bit, so I am tweaking the lights. Sliding over here, the acans are all doing great. The red is holding steady, it's puffed up most of the time. That one is doing really well. That is actually my first coral. And the feeding tentacle is always out as soon as I put food in the tank and actually grab a lot of food. And surprisingly, the green SPS, some sort of Gonipora, I'm not even sure what it is, it seems to be growing too. There's a little growth spurt. And you actually see lots of little polyps coming out. And it's such an edge of a tank, edge of a light. I wasn't expecting it to do too well, but it seems to be slowly taking off. Zoas. Certain Zoas seems to be adapting decently well to my tank, but certain ones are definitely not doing well. Like Sunny D is holding steady. I think it's called a Sundancer or something. That's actually one of my favorite Zoa. They're on and off. Right now, like for I'll say maybe the last week, a week and a half, some of the polyps shrunk really small. I think something was bothering it. But ever since I glued it down and stopped touching it, it's the Zoa definitely expanded in size and seems to fill in a lot more now. Maybe the thing bothering it was me. This colony seems to be doing well. The grande seems to be doing well. This is coming back. Blue zoa is coming back. Look at this green clown goby just chilling in the zoas. They don't care. I have a lot of trouble with this is either dragon eye or eagle eyes. I think it's dragon eyes or watermelon. But this cluster seems to be doing well. Like the ones in the bag is kind of sparse. The one up there, I think, just being stung by an enemy. So those are, you know, not doing too well. But that cluster seems to find a sweet spot and it's doing good. Same with the rastas, but they're so slow growing. All right, this video has been going on for so long. I'm so sorry for rambling on. My camera is actually overheating, gave me a warning. So I will end this tank update here. You'll notice that my blue tang or hippo tang is always around my female clown. They are like best buddies. We may as well just rename him or her Dory and Merlin. Everybody's like, no, what are you doing, right? But yeah, my hippo tang is slowly growing in size, and I have been toying with an idea. So let me swing over here. This is my living room. It's kind of messy, I'm sorry, and those are the photos of my travel. I have the space here, so I'm thinking about possibly doing a larger tank, maybe a 90 or maybe even 120. Not that I want to stock it with a bunch of corals, but just so that it has a lot of swimming room for fish, because there are a lot of fish I want to attempt, but the 45-gallon tank, 24 by 24 by 18, just too small. I really want to get the shoal effect, and there are certain fish that I really want to keep that requires a lot more swimming room. So we'll see. Maybe near the end of the year, if things pan out, I'll pick up something a little bit larger for this space. That would be awesome, right? Alright guys, oh, I also forgot to mention the Radion. 2 weeks ago, actually no, has it been two and a half, 3 weeks? I tried a new profile. They did so Radion did a whole study. I think some of you may have known it. It's like a lab study on the effect of LED light for SPS, LPS, and softies, and they published some of their templates as well. So I downloaded one of the templates and I really like it. So I've been running that for about 2.5 to 3 weeks. Hey, look, a snail, a tortoise snail just fell and just flipped over. Okay, I gotta rescue that snail. So I will talk to you guys later. Alright guys, have a good week, and I will see you guys.